Let me begin with a basic question. How did we get almost halfway through the fiscal year with no appropriations bills having been passed?
Well, part of it has to do with the fact that we couldn't get an agreement over who should be the speaker after we had an agreement, which took up a lot of time. More importantly, I think a lot of negotiations over what was agreed to in the Fiscal Responsibility Act back in last June as to what the number was and whether the House agreed to the number after it was thought was agreed to under McCarthy. And as a consequence, we had a delay as to that. And now we have the delay as it relates to not the numbers. We've all agreed to the number, the aggregate number. And in fact, I believe we've all pretty much agreed to what the subcommittee level should be. I think the big problem right now is the usual problems of the House and having some of the more conservative members wanting to have some riders that are outside of the numbers arguments, whether it's LGBTQ issues, whether it's guns issues, whether it's abortion issues. And it's these riders that now has delayed it even further. And I would simply note we should have been already working on fiscal year 25 by now. We're setting ourselves up for a disastrous fall, regardless of whether we get to an agreement here or not on fiscal year 24. We're going to have only about 5 months left in the fiscal year before we get around to talking about next year's.
Yeah, I think people that don't follow this closely, and that would be like almost everybody, outside of those of us whose job it is to do this, would be excused for thinking that this is sort of a normal routine thing. Congress is just fighting about appropriations bills. But as you said, we really should be working on the next year's bills, which is supposed to be passed by September, because we're setting ourselves up for another thing. Do you think that we're looking at another continuing resolution for the 2024 bills?
I honestly believe that we don't have enough time here to be finished by the end of the week on those 4 bills. And in fact, in those 4 bills, the writers are holding them up, deal with things such as the LGBTQ and housing. There's an issue as it relates to the SNAP program and the WIC program. So I believe we're looking at potentially either a short-term shutdown this weekend, at least for those 4 bills. And then I do believe that we are looking at another continuing resolution. And maybe we're rolling all 12 bills into another continuing resolution up. And I've been, rumor is that we're looking at a possible continuing resolution to March 22nd, which is right before the next major recess. Unless there's the president and the 4 corners, the 4 leaders are meeting tomorrow, maybe hope springs eternal. It is spring. Maybe things can come together here. Maybe we can figure out a way of at least avoiding another shutdown. But right now, we don't have a lot of time. All I can say is this is giving new meaning to March Madness out there. I think we're really headed toward a difficult March.